Guess we'll move the mic into position and then we'll start. So that their Gotham Knights game got announced earlier today. Pretty excited about that. Now, I had heard that Rocksteady is making a Suicide Squad game, so I suppose that this game, I guess it's being made by, like, internally at, like, WB. And I'm pretty sure WB Montreal was the studio that made Arkham Origins, so I'm very cautiously optimistic about it. We only saw like some trailers, a little bit of gameplay from an alpha build of the game, and doesn't look like the Arkham series. It looks close to the Arkham series, but there's definitely like there's notable like RPG elements to everything now. There's the there's a multiplayer aspect where and it's co-op, I guess, and you can pick and choose between the different members of the Bat family. You got I believe this is not the Gotham Knights. Like, from what I saw and what I could glean, it is not a sequel to Arkham Knight. Like, this is in a different continuity where Batman also initiated the Nightfall Protocol and killed himself and destroyed the Batcave and everything and left the fate of Gotham to his proteges. But in this continuity, I guess Barbara Gordon is still Batgirl. She didn't get crippled by the Joker. Jason Todd is the Red Hood again. You got Tim Drake, looks like he's going to be Red Robin instead of just regular old Robin. Of course, I got Dick Grayson as Nightwing. I'm looking forward to it. I have every reason to be extraordinarily cynical. But goddamn it, it looks like it might be a fun experience. People are like decrying on Twitter that like the introduction of RPG elements like ruins the game, but fuck it. I like RPG elements. I think every game should be an RPG. I'd play more games then. Cater to me, video game industries. Give me games and I'll give you money. All you have to do is to do a system where you hit things and numbers pop up and you can equip things. I'll be a happy boy. I'm cautiously optimistic. Comes out in 2021. But enough about Batman, or rather the lack thereof. Let's go see how Stella's holding up now that we've eaten Seymour. She should be fine.
Fishburne. May I come in, please?
Of course. Dr. Reed. Best grow eyes in the back of that head, sir.
I'm so sorry about your loss, Mrs. Fishburne.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. Could you check Rufus's health for me, please? I've been taking care of this young nipper since my poor Seymour died.
Last night.
Very well. But why so nervous?
Even if he lives with me now, Rufus still spends too much time outside. He grew up in the streets, you see, and he's kept his old habits.
Do you have any news about Sean Hampton's shelter?
I just heard the sad saint keeps on helping the sick and poor. God bless his soul.
Mrs. Fishburne, Are you in need of any medical assistance?
I am afraid I am, Doctor. I don't feel well at all.
Then let me give you a prescription.
I thank you for your generosity, sir. It's something this part of town truly needs.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne. Take care of yourself.
Oh, he's outside.
The fear.
Good evening, Rufus.
Evening, Mr. Reed.
You seem happier than before.
I live with Mrs. Fishburne now, in her house. I have a bed and everything.
Good for you.
Heard anything about Sean Hampton's shelter lately?
I heard that Mr. Hampton has been very sick, but now he's better.
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about me. That's a first. I feel like a real person.
A real doctor treats everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So long, Rufus.
What do we got? Those are the only two sick people here. Suppose we should look for Giselle's crap. They are doing an extraordinary amount of damage to him. For how lower level they are compared to him.
This could be the public house Giselle Paxton mentioned. I should investigate further.
I'm friendly with you guys now. Stop.
Giselle's stolen money. Everyone has some unethical ways of financing their war.
Let's bring it to her. I like Giselle. She hates rich people almost as much as I do. Let's give her money back. Still looking at that body, huh? Sean? How you doing, pal?
Welcome back to my humble shelter, Dr. Reed. Are you here to subdue me again?
No, Sean. I just came by to see how you are.
I feel all right. Why'd you ask?
Are you still feeding on corpses?
No.
Yes.
It's almost as though the blood you forced me to drink has provided me eternal satisfaction.
How is the sanitary situation in this part of town?
I think it's acceptable. Fewer cases of sickness recently. I thank the Lord for his mercy.
How are things in your shelter? Between the mortals and the immortals, I mean.
Even if we're all children of God, I've always maintained a strict frontier between the two communities.
What do you fear?
A few years ago, a Skal decided to pay a nocturnal visit to my sleeping customers. He got caught licking their necks in the dark. Since then, I have added a lock to the door.
What if food became scarce? Wouldn't the immortals in your flock be tempted to feed on the living? Wouldn't you?
The Skals can feed on the dead, Doctor. And until Judgment Day, mortals will continue dying.
How did you meet old Bridget?
When younger, I used to patrol the streets at night, searching for lost souls. This is how I met her. It took me 2 months just to get her name. Now we support each other.
Had you already visited their hideout in the sewers?
Just once, and very briefly. Most of them are very discreet, and they see me as an outsider, even if I protect them.
You really are a saint, Sean.
Oh, no, sir, I'm not. But I know evil, and I believe goodwill and tenacity can make this world a better place.
I'm glad I spared you,
Would
Sean.
you let me listen to your chest, Sean?
No, Dr. Reed. You already forced me to drink your blood, and I thank you for that, for I feel better now. But it was quite an unpleasant experience.
It would help me greatly if you would allow me to give you a physical examination.
I said no. I'm no subject of medical examination, and I intend only to obey and to kneel before God.
Have you seen Harriet Jones since taking her to old Bridget?
No, she is with the sewer Skals now. I don't go downstairs.
What happened at the Pembroke?
I guess we recognized each other. As Skals, I mean. She had but one thought. To punish. To get revenge upon everything and everyone. I realized I had to bring her here quickly.
But why did she fake her own death? There was so much blood in her room. She attacked patients, too.
I just lost her for a minute that night. When I found her, she had caused mayhem across the hospital. I slapped some sense into her, and we fled before getting caught.
What happened then?
We ran here through narrow streets and backyards. She kept saying that someone was talking to her in the dark, offering to avenge her. But I saw nobody.
Farewell, Sean. Take good care of your flock, and of yourself.
Nothing like a vampire holyman.
You again? What do you want?
I have your money.
I've identified the men who stole from you. You were right. They were members of some self-proclaimed militia.
I knew it! Did you find the money too?
Yes, here it is. They thought they could finance their activities with it.
I never thought a man like you would be kind enough to... I misjudged you. Badly. Well, thank you, sir.
Will you give the money back to your comrades, then?
Fuck those bastards who fired me. I'll give the money to Miss Gillingham. Her son Jack was a friend of mine. He was killed recently.
I know you were friends with Miss Gillingham's son, Jack. Tell me about his
Uh,
death.
weirdly spaced there.
It's been a shock to the neighborhood. A sign that the situation is now out of control.
Why is that?
There has always been tension between the Wet Boot Boys and members of the trade union. But a murder? That's a first.
Who killed him?
No one will ever know. One thing is certain. While Jack was alive, I had one less reason to drink.
Oh.
Why does that upset you so much?
I wish I had found the time and words to tell him how important he was to me before it was too late. Another failure for Giselle Paxton.
Well, I'll leave you for now. Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Ah!
Glad to see you again, Mr. Reed.
Good. Welcome. Have you got any recent news on Sean Hampton's shelter?
It's still there, just like the turquoise turtle. That means there is still hope, somehow.
Good.
Without the wet boots keeping things.
Let's search the man's flat in the burrow. Here. See what turns up. Kind of forget what we were doing. Oh, is it across the river here? Really? Can't make that jump, huh? And we're finally going to the West End. Meet some new cattle. You have a cold. You have a cold. I think I've got enough cold medication for the lot of them. Why are you people hanging down here? No, let me in! Let me eavesdrop on him. God damn it. Ah!
Hello again, Mr.
Good evening, Doc.
Do you need...
Afraid so.
Throughout history, some diseases have done more damage to armies than any weapon created by man. You are wise to be careful.
You're working at the Pembroke Hospital, aren't you? That's a good enough reason for me and Oswald to go there.
Goodbye.
Pippa.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you need...
I'm afraid.
Not under my watch, nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye.
Perhaps I should have considered the offer from that Cadogan fellow.
Don't mind me, just passing through.
Can't let you through.
As you can.
Best be moving on.
I'll take your word. Gentlemen. You just had to let me go. All you had to do was just let me pass by. I meant you no harm. Is this leading me back to the place with the very obvious place to warp up to? Is it now going to let me warp up to it? Of course.
29 Pretty Orchard Street. This is it. What's in there for me? There's been a fight here. This window was shattered with violent force. Someone's been pulled through it and dragged through the street. Who could have done that?
A vampire. Oh, did I do this, like, out of order here? Oh, okay. I came at this at the complete wrong angle. Funny. Of course.
Last warning, sir.
Ooh. Guys are getting strong.
To let her expire and be found.
Oh.
The marks on this woman's neck were made by the fangs of a vampire. This is the very flower my mother tossed on Mary's coffin. Someone is targeting my family.
Ugh.
Her shoes and clothes are quite worn out. Only a golden watch in her pockets.
I see you.
Right then. It's a sick game. But given no choice in the matter, I might as well win it.
Hey, this door is now wide open. Hey, this is Whitechapel. I've been here.
Jonathan.
What was that?
I'm back.
I won't let you escape. You're very fast, but I'll catch you. They've all been butchered.
Which means more loot for me. This is gonna be a boss fight, isn't it? How much you want to bet it's Mary? And Jonathan actually managed to accidentally turn somebody else into a vampire.
Come to me.
You! What have you done?
Vicar Larrabee, what happened?
Demon! Hell Scourge! Son of perdition!
Vicar! Jonathan is no demon. He's just a loving son.
Gasp!
From the dead. Like your Christ, Vicar.
Mary, it has been you all along.
Oh, it's me, all right. Precious brother.
Why did you lure me here?
I'm gathering the family. For a final reunion. All smiling, all
I mean,
dead.
you're not
Thanks to the good Dr. Reed.
so shocked that she's
Mother?
not actually
Say hello to your son.
totally dead.
Hello, Jonathan.
Mother,
What do we have here, Mother? The prodigal son has lost his tongue. Our Jonathan always had the first and last word at dinner. The entertainer, the star of our show.
Mary, let me explain.
Shut up. It's my turn to do the talking. I have this nasty hole in my chest, Johnny. It needs to breathe.
Right then. Speak.
My prayers went so long without an answer. My husband killed in France. My child carried away by the flu. My brother promising to return in his letters, then disappearing in thin air. I went from hospital to hospital, cemetery to cemetery, grave to grave. I've lifted every stone in London, searching for an end to the nightmare. And there you were, in front of me, on a dark pier.
It was the hunger. You know it now as well.
The joy to have finally found you. I longed for your arms, a final happy ending to so much tragedy, to tell me all would be well again. As you did when we were children. It was this filthy dock where you greeted your sister. I dug a tunnel from my grave with my fingers and teeth.
Mary, I had taken your life before I realized it was you. I tried to kill myself.
But you failed in your attempt. We cannot die, can we? We are a plague. I've
Come
watched you,
on.
Jonathan. You pull the strings. and sever them.
I've done what I had to do. I did not choose this fate. But I will have my answers.
Ugh. There are no answers, Doctor. There's nothing left but pain and lies and treachery.
Mary, wait!
Time to go, Mother. Give my regards to my son.
No! No!
This is what I do to those I cherish. Can you imagine what I've in mind for you?
I'll destroy you!
Finally, we hear the truth. Dr. Reed, admit it. You're a monster who takes joy in killing, who relishes the chase, the secret.
You enjoy the killing.
I shall find a cure for this madness.
You lie to yourself. Confess your sins.
No!
Over the slaughtered corpse of our mother!
Are those tears, brother dear? Your heart still bleeds with emotion. My dead heart has dried.
You are mad.
Oh, so that's what I am, Doctor. Mad? I was beginning to wonder. I've been hearing voices, one in particular. That of my dead brother. This is the reason I must kill you. Not for your betrayal. Not for our poisonous kiss. Not even for the lies you tell yourself. No. It's so that smooth and wicked voice will stop ringing in my head.
I cannot let you kill again, Mary.
Time to die, brother.
I only kill people who are pieces of shit. Okay, Mary, let's get it. Let's dance. Excuse me, I'm just gonna...
Jonathan, kill him. Revel in your...
You know, before you get the chance. Where'd you go?
Kinslayer! Rest in peace, monster.
Look at all her wonderful, wonderful skills she has.
Wayne knows his mind. You're a monster.
Oh. Yeah.
Come to me, Jonathan. I'll make you kneel like a dog, just as you did. Well, brother, it's time to bring this conversation to an end forever.
You know I will not play this game.
Now, Doctor. Like a rabid dog. Or think you're performing an autopsy.
Don't be ridiculous.
I'll kill them all. The kind Dr. Swansea. The sweet little lass with hair of red. I am the Harbinger, bringing your punishment.
Mary.
Don't you see? This is not me. Flesh that never ages. All nightmare, no dream. Bring it to a close. Let me sleep.
I will find a cure, Mary. I swear it.
Then, at last, I can forgive you.
Oh, good, it's making me do this. So I take it like this is like my narrative punishment for, like, you know, eating a bunch of people for experience points. Does this scene, like, change depending on, like, how many people you've embraced? Or if you, like, don't fuck up with Dorothy in Whitechapel? I can't wait to, like, after I beat this game, like, look up the other endings and stuff or whatever.
Blood. As I shed one last red tear for my fallen sister, I realize the entire world now revolves around this singular word. The epidemic that has stricken London is not the Spanish flu. It is transmitted through the blood, via violent biting, turning survivors into frenzied immortals. I am Dr. Jonathan Reed. I am a vampire, born anew into an age of death and pestilence. While plotting factions close in around me, I am sworn to find the source of this epidemic. I am convinced greater perils are still
I am Dr. Acula.
I know the answers I seek are hiding in our blood.
All right. Find the origin of the epidemic in the West End. Hey, chapter 4. Meet Lady Ashbury in West End. Cool. Be as soon as possible. Quickly in the West End, I guess we are all in great danger. Try to purchase a launch a great hunt in London, and then for a few nights, killing in hand, they can look at it. Lord Redgrave, chairman of blah blah blah, contact me, etc. etc. Go to the last area. Let me evolve. Ooh, 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 ooh. Run! Jonathan, run! Get downstairs! There's an eavesdropping opportunity. Ah! It's already passed! Jonathan, you suck. We got plenty of points to level up with here. Let's take advantage of that. More stamina. Bigger blood capacity. Health regen from biting. More health. Get more blood from biting. Ah, what the hell? More blood capacity doesn't hurt. Alright, what do we got here? How much is the next level of this? Ooh, that's a lot. How much is the next level of this? That's still a lot. What about coagulation? The skill I'd never use. Too steep for my blood. Let's just keep pumping up the passive, shall we? More blood bite. I never used the... on this level of difficulty, really no need to ever use the, syringes, because nothing's ever really that big of a threat. I'll just save the rest. The following night. These two are sick again! We're down to critical here. Oh, he's gone up significantly to... from mere migraine to, where is she? Lewis. Poor Dorothy Crane. Fucked them up. She was part of West End. You must be able to... That event must change depending on, like, your actions in the game up to that point. I have to expect it does. Oh no, they're almost down to hostile. I need to get these people healthy fast. What? Whitechapel is spiraling out of control. Need more fatigue medication. One of these. These can never hurt. Migraine, sure. Headache, sure. Plenty of people with a common cold. Don't know who has sepsis, but it's gotta be somebody. Bronchitis medication. Alright. Alright, let's real quick pop over to good old Whitechapel here and do some rounds, do some doctoring real quick. Oh, there's corpses piling up. These guys are all higher level now.
Thirst for blood.
Well, say that thirst a little bit more, please.
Is despicable.
Large beast. Oh boy. Ah! All right, let's pop our heads in here. The doctor is in. You're healthy. You're healthy. You, sir, have fatigue. Even though I don't like you, I will help you.
How is the sun?
Don't you hear the trumpets?
Don't you?
Faith gives.
No doubt your faith will prevail.
Last.
Cool.
Good evening.
How are conditions in Whitechapel at the moment?
I always thought it was my role to reveal what really happens in these forgotten parts of London.
And you're not sure anymore?
Emptied coffins, cannibalism, walking dead. I'm trying to report the truth about what's going on, but no one believes it anymore.
Goodbye.
Richard, you have a cold.
Good evening. And good evening to... How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
I imagine we are all part of some nightmare without beginning nor ending. If only the dreamer could awake.
Do you need... I have the new...
He's still showing up here. Like, it doesn't say he's missing, it doesn't say he's dead.
Look the other way this week, Joe.
Do you need...
To be honest.
Really? How are the current conditions in Whitechapel?
When there's more people outside at night than during the day, then you've got to start to worry.
Right then.
Ooh, you've got parts. Crunching. See more. Oh, there he is.
This elixir will give you faith again.
I thought you were dead.
Good evening, Mr.
I could ask you the exact same question, Mr. Doc.
How is the sanitary situation in Whitechapel?
Terrible, to say the least. Maybe now you understand the importance of Dorothea's work here. But
that's quite an accusation.
Stop pretending, Mr. Doctor. All you wanted was to confront Dorothea. You never intended to help Whitechapel's people.
There isn't just one way to help Whitechapel.
Your way seems to attract sorrow and despair, Mr. Doctor. Your kind of care is not what Whitechapel needs.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor.
Wow.
Are you living on the streets, Mr. Petrescu?
And why not? Those who believe they'll be safe behind walls are blind.
What about your house?
My house is always open to any poor soul needing a roof. All my work here is lost now that Dorothea is gone, thanks to you.
Why are you so aggressive?
I remember the night you came here and convinced me to open my door to you, sir. I'd like to punch you right on your chops.
What do you plan to do now that Nurse Crane is gone?
I'm not sure. Strange men came to see me after Dorothea's death, with strange weapons and very odd stories.
What kind of stories?
Stories all Romanian children know. It was as if I was home again. Vampires, Mr. Doctor. Vampires.
You believe them? Aren't you too old to hold a weapon or listen to scary stories?
Yes, I am old and alone and will die soon, but if these stories are true, maybe I have found myself another cause.
Goodbye.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. You know, Whitechapel's kind of a lost cause anyways.
Goody.
How is the sanitary?
When people buy guns instead of medication, it means they have already traded hope for fear in their hearts. In my book, that's never a good thing, Doctor.
I'd like to see...
Good.
You look ill. Well, there you have it. Take this remedy, but be discreet. It may damage your business otherwise.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Miss...
Its effectiveness has been proven by many.
Benjamin.
Who is no match for the Swanborough cordial.
Hey,
Good evening.
Surely.
hey, Darius, let's go have a chat. You know, I thought you were dead anyways. Really, this is just, you know, confirming it just for safety's sake. Because let's be real here, you're probably going to become a vampire hunter, and then I'd have to kill you anyways. It's for the best it happens this way.
I failed to protect Dorothea. I fall like she fell, but our fight is still alive.
Small key. I mean, let's be perfectly honest with ourselves. Whitechapel's not bouncing back from this one. I think I fucked up way too hard by you know, accidentally turning Dorothea into a ghoul. Huh. Angie Palmer. Names to keep in mind. You know, when I come back to you know, sweep up. Really, I did Darius a favor. This entire area is going to shit. At least now he doesn't have to live through it. Let's see here. Blood Econ. Hello. Jen. Oh, okay. Enemy vampires now. Gotcha. Okay. They were new. Oh, they're dropping good stuff, though. Let's see here.
Your prey is mine!
Good evening, sir. It's me again.
Leave me alone, I said.
It cannot be safe for a blind man to live here alone. Let me enter, sir. I swear I mean you no harm.
Well, a voice never lies, and yours clearly is the voice of a gentleman. All right, Doctor, come on in. Wandering in this part of
Cool.
either brave or
Cool, cool, cool. Let's see what we got in here. Vampires feed on our soul.
gentleman pays visits to people at this late hour.
You don't need to know that.
It's locked. It's locked, all right.
Tell me, how do you see the world these days? So what is the name of my nocturnal visitor?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. As I already explained to you, I'm inquiring about the epidemic.
Dr. Reed? The eminent surgeon? My God, I'd never have expected a brilliant physician like you to knock on my door.
You flatter me, sir.
No, sir, I am flattered. I read all your work when I still had my sight. I loved it. I'm Mason Swanborough, by the way.
Do you know Braille, Mr. Swanborough?
I'm no expert, but I learned it in my spare time, yes. Why?
I found a strange document entitled Cure for Blindness. It's written in Braille, so I thought perhaps it was yours.
Really? Is that some kind of sick joke? Let me see.
Here it is.
This letter seems authentic. And it actually refers to an experimental cure for blindness. You have piqued my interest, Dr. Reed.
Could it be of any use to you?
No. This page is just a part of a larger diary. I'd be glad if you could find the other pages.
I found another page of the diary, Mr. Swanborough.
This diary is still not complete. The man who wrote it claims he is a member of some scholarly brotherhood called the St. Paul's Stole.
Ooh.
I've heard of them. Very capable scientists. Perhaps the man who wrote this really found a cure.
I would need more pages to figure it out, but it's as promising as it is intriguing.
Here is another page of the diary we were talking about.
Ah, now we're talking. Ingredients, dosages, dangers, and side effects. This is it.
Is the diary complete now?
No. The author tested his work in a hidden laboratory. We must find out where it was. Please, find me more pages, Doctor.
That's all the pages I had.
How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
I hear them hissing and scratching at my door every night. The sick made mad by the fever. But these walls are thick, and my lock is solid.
You seem unwell.
Actually,
Yes. I can give you a little something that has been proven effective.
Thank you, Doctor.
And what else have you learned about me, Mr. Swanborough?
I know you assisted Professor Carell in France, and that you invented a new blood transfusion method based on his work.
Yes. Those were frustrating but exciting days. I loved it.
Yes, the thrill of research and discovery. This is what drives people like us, Dr. Reed. Oh, how I envy you.
Does someone take care of you in this isolated place?
My sister Loretta and I have our daily routine. Every morning and evening she comes by so we can talk and eat. Then she leaves and I stay.
Do you not appreciate your sister's visits?
Loretta is the best and worst thing that happened to me, and I believe she could say the same thing about me.
Where does your sister go?
Well, let's just say, she earns enough money for us both.
What's so amusing about that?
I won't hide the truth from you. Loretta sells a fake miracle.
Oh, you're that Loretta. Okay. An interesting detail.
Goodbye, Mr. Swan.
Tell me, how do you see the world these days?
Could go back and talk to her about that. Sure, she would have something to say. All right. Where is this bitch that I rescued? Like days and days ago. She was in the cemetery. And it doesn't say she's dead. Body's gone again. There you are! What are you doing here still?
Are you?
My name?
I do.
Yes, I am. This is the only place where I can.
Sorry, I thought we were seeing canned dialogue there. I didn't mean to skip through most of it.
How do you? You should recover quickly after taking this.
Thank you, Doctor.
How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
My only relief is that my Matthew died before seeing the madness that approaches. I'm afraid we won't survive this trial, Dr. Reed.
Are you on your own? Do you have any friends or family who you could be with?
I have family and friends, but I need to be here alone. One day maybe I'll go back to them, but not now. I need silence, and I need sadness.
Sadness can be a terrible trap. It can entangle you and weaken your heart if you let it control your thoughts.
Thank you for your sincere words, Dr. Reed. I sense you trying to help me, even if I don't quite understand why.
Tell me how your husband died, Xiaoshu.
Matthew died of the Spanish flu, like so many others. It's a mundane cause of death these days, but for me it meant the end of the world.
At this time, there is so little medical science can do to defeat this terrible epidemic. I'm truly sorry.
The worst thing is not his death, even if it tears me apart. The worst is not to have seen it coming, to have lost him so quickly, even before realizing it.
Did he hide his condition from you?
Matthew was a smiling type, a happy sort. Everything that I am not. Did he laugh at his death to come, or did he not realize what was going to happen? I'll never know.
The Spanish flu may be the worst disease mankind has ever faced.
Are
you blaming yourself?
You don't understand. I didn't know he was so sick. I didn't realize the gravity of his situation until it was too late.
As harsh as this sounds, we are all equally vulnerable to this awful disease. It can take the strongest man in just a couple of days.
I never said goodbye to Matthew. We never realized how bad it was. We laughed about it even. He always made me laugh. Now I don't have enough tears to shed.
Are you a doctor yourself? Is this why you feel so guilty for not saving your sick husband?
No, I am not. But I still need to blame someone for Matthew's death. And who else, if not his wife, who did not see it coming?
I'm a physician, one of the best in the country. But I was unable to save my own sister, Mary. She died in my arms.
Why tell me this? Is it supposed to make me feel better?
She will rest in this cemetery forever. And I'll spend eternity hoping that she can forgive me.
May I ask what caused the death of your sister?
You could say she was also killed by a terrible disease. A disease I have sworn to fight and cure, no matter how long it takes.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Dr. Reed. Maybe it's time we start to rebuild our lives, you and I.
Let's get married.
You realize you can't stay here forever, don't you? Eventually, you'll have to leave the cemetery.
Why? Why should I go? Since this is the only place I can find peace of mind.
To be honest, I don't know. Please forgive me if I've upset you. We must all honor our departed loved ones in our own way.
You sound like you're no stranger to the pain I feel.
Let's just say, I too have a good reason to visit cemeteries at night.
Please accept my condolences for your loss then, Dr. Reed.
You should go home now.
I think you're right. Cemeteries are for the dead, for they need silence too. Thank you for your honesty and your wisdom, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your company, Xiaoshun. Take care on the way home.
Maybe
Avoid the vampire hunters.
Goodbye for now.
Maybe, I thought maybe stay in the cemetery. Maybe stay in the cemetery for, I don't think Whitechapel's the best place for you to be going. Sir! Alright, Dr. Acula hungers for more.
Watch yourselves! This way! Christ! He's dead!
Ridwan Brawler. Who else shall I devour before the night is over? Everyone in Whitechapel's looking awful tasty. Hey, Richard.
Good evening.
And good evening to...
I'll be right back. Oh, Loretta.
Good evening.
Loretta, your miraculous formula wouldn't even cure a common cold, and you know it.
The Swanborough's cordial's secret ingredient is hope, Doctor. And it's something people around here really need.
A placebo effect is real and has benefit. But in your case, you could be murdering your customers who may die because they are not receiving the necessary medical attention.
Medical attention? In Whitechapel? Trust me, my cordial is the best option they have, since it is the only one.
If your true purpose was to help, you wouldn't take money from the poor for your snake oil.
Oh, but to pay for it is part of the process, Doctor. If it were free, they wouldn't believe in it.
Goodbye.
Really? Nothing else from her, huh? Oh, Benji!
Good evening, Ben.
I'm afraid...
How are conditions in Whitechapel these days?
I hear gunshots every night. It's just like the war in the trenches, Doctor. I can't stand it.
He's only 800. He's only 800 experience. I mean, if I eat him, I might as well go 2 for 2 and eat the kid too. Ah, what the hell? Come on, Benji. Let's get you somewhere nice and secluded. Right this way. Moonwalk with me, baby. Find you a nice secluded spot. Like here, for example.
I'm not afraid anymore. I died in this trench a long time ago.
A bunch of drugs and alcohol. Hell of a haul. Yeah, district's gonna... Look, the district has already suffered the consequences of my actions. Kid, stop picking the lock.
Have conditions improved in Whitechapel?
I'm ready for whatever's coming.
Oh, are you? Well, let's see about that. All right, let's go. Follow me. Are we taking him to the exact same spot we ate his dad? We are taking him to the same where we just killed his dad. Jonathan, you are a cruel, cruel vampire doctor. All right. Say hi to your dad when you meet him. Goodbye.
No, not now. Not me, please. I'll be good.
All right. Ooh, a door key. Part of me feels sorry for the good folk that are going to be suffering the consequences of the things I've done. But I kind of already fucked them over by messing up with Dorothy, so you know, wipe the slate clean. Just clean slate. Just blank slate it. Just get rid of all of them at this point. Start over fresh. Is that it? Key to a door that leads you to 5 whole shillings. Oh, is there something in the barrel? Treatment for fatigue, treatment for headaches. Anybody else? Embraced, embraced, embraced. Richard will come back for you. Recovering, 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 recovering. Really, I'm doing Whitechapel a favor by getting rid of them. If anything, the health status should go up. Nobody is sick in the Pembroke. But these guys need some medicine for their fatigue. Really need to try to eavesdrop on that, the sick kid and his mom. Really going to shit, Whitechapel is. Is the deteriorating state of Whitechapel what causes the vampire enemies to start spawning in? Fuck. Fuckity fuck. Find a spot, Jonathan. Yes.
How can I be sure I'll not find your unconscious body in the house again?
I promise you, you'll not find my unconscious body.
For God's sake, how can you say such a thing?
How can you refuse to listen? I tried to warn you for so long.
No, I won't let my only son die. You promised me you'll stay alive.
Your son lied to you, like the whole world lies to us.
Oh. Mortimer. Do you need to have a chat with the good doctor? Mortimer.
Good evening, Miss.
I'm okay.
Admit it, Mortimer. Your mother had you hospitalized here because you tried to kill yourself.
Yes, it's true.
All right, then. This is the first time we've really shared information about your case. Shall we call this progress?
Call it what you want, Dr. Reed.
You can trust me. I won't report you to the authorities. My one and only concern is your health.
I guess I should thank you then.
Can I help you in any way, Mr. Goswick?
I wrote a letter for my mother. She was supposed to read it after my death. But I suppose she doesn't have to read it now.
I see. And is this letter still near the place where you tried to take your own life?
Yes. And I don't want anyone reading my last words. I mean, I'm still here. If you bring me back that letter, then perhaps we'll talk.
All right.
I have to...
I'm all right. Don't waste waste your time with me.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
He's suicidal.
Your son wished to die, Beatrice. Why did you hide such crucial information?
Are you not aware suicide is a crime? Mortimer could be thrown in jail.
What?
I can't let that happen. I won't.
I understand you fear the legal consequences, Mrs. Goswick. But don't you realize your silence significantly affects your son's case?
All my son needs is help and comprehension, not judgment and punishment for what he may or may not have done.
Goodbye, Mrs.
Let's get his letter then. Ooh, new dialogue is available with Swansea.
Jonathan, old chap, how are you tonight? I've seen little of you of late.
I was conducting research in my room, away from the nightly routines.
Of course, of course. Worry not, I understand. The situation has been testy around here. I won't deny it, but we still stand.
Have you any reliable friends in the West End who might assist me?
Unfortunately, you will be alone. Except for our ravishing red-headed acquaintance, of course.
What about the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole? Where are they?
There are only a few of us, and most others would not speak to you. I am the black sheep of our brotherly flock, you know.
Oh.
What of my commission here at Pembroke Hospital?
Nothing to fear, Jonathan. Your position here is in no jeopardy. You remain one of us, and you are always most welcome.
What news do you bring?
The news is not good, my friend. We try to keep the epidemic at bay, but street violence is escalating quickly.
How bad is the epidemic?
It is killing the infected patients faster, in less than 2 days now. The only blessing is that they are contagious for a shorter period.
Tell me more about the violence.
Geoffrey McCallum seems to have sent his war dogs on a hunt. On a nightly basis, Prewen patrols exterminate every skull and vampire they find.
Have they come closer to the hospital?
No. They mainly focus on fallen districts or abandoned buildings. But they're growing in numbers. They must be recruiting heavily.
I have received an alarming letter from Lady Ashbury. She wants me to meet her at her house. I have been granted safe passage.
Then you are twice fortunate. I have never been invited to the lady's mansion, and with the quarantine and controls, city access is nigh impossible.
Is the quarantine serving any purpose?
It is helping slow the propagation of the epidemic. But as long as we have no clue to its origin, its efficiency is limited.
Why have you never entered the lady's house? You are one of her good friends, are you not?
My dear Jonathan, you have no idea how reclusive the good lady normally is, nor in what great esteem she must hold you to let you into her domain.
Thank you, Edgar.
Steady, boys! We've got one of them here!
No, you don't. Oh, you do? In fact, you've got a lot of them there. Well, it looks like they won.
In this
Okay.
letter, Mortimer Goswick does nothing to hide his desire to die. I could give it to his mother, but doing so would betray his trust. It's locked.
Fertile is the belly of the beast. They really took down that werewolf all by themselves, huh? All right, now. Do I give Mortimer the letter or do I give it to his mother? If I give it to him, I don't think he's ever actually going to get better. If I give it to the mother, he might, like, get even worse, you know?
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How...
I'm okay.
Really?
I have retrieved your letter, Mr. Goswick. I can assure you that nobody read it but me.
Thank you. This is for you, then. For your help. And for your silence.
I think you should talk to your mother. It would be good for both of you.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. I'll think about it. Now, please, let me be.
I've read your letter, Mortimer. You wrote about an unbearable feeling of despair while the world crumbles around you. Tell me more about it.
Let me feed on your tears, Mortimer.
It's hurtful, it's unbearable, and I don't ask anyone to understand what I feel.
Despair is a deadly poison I've tasted myself, sir. We're only tempted to drink it because we're terrified by the uncertainty of the next minute.
I know that perfectly, Doctor. For I waited for so long, hoping that the next minute would be less unbearable.
I'm
all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Doctor.
I have read your son's suicide note. It was not an impulsive gesture, nor was it his first attempt.
He threatened to kill himself a few times before. But I never thought he would dare to punish me this much.
Punish you? Why?
I've known for a long time he was not happy with his life. But I always hoped he cared enough to avoid making me suffer like this.
Uh-huh.
Mortimer is extremely vague as to his motivations for committing suicide. Tell me more about what you know.
As you say, Mortimer had no reason to die. All he said to me was that he wanted to make the world a better place, but couldn't.
Why did your son feel so useless when facing the world?
I think it was more that he could only see the melancholy facets of life. He couldn't help but dwell on such things.
What do you think he meant by making the world a better place?
Mortimer has always been a sensitive soul. He wouldn't talk to anyone for months after his father passed. It's like he carries everyone's sadness with him.
You realize your son could try to kill himself again? He might succeed next time.
I think about it every minute. But I won't stop fighting for my son's future. That's how much I love him.
Your determination is laudable, but you are in a state of denial, Mrs. Goswick. Your son has a very strong death wish.
How dare you talk to a mother like that? Talk to me like that?
I'm only trying to be honest, Mrs. Goswick. As painful as this fatal end may be for you, you have to accept this is a possibility.
No, I'll never accept it. If my son was to die under your care, well, you have no idea what I'm capable of, Dr. Reed.
Damn it! Ah! Level 2, but he only has... His blood quality is only 1000 XP.
Goodbye, Miss. Good evening.
I'm okay. Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Never could keep anything from her.
But the suffering continues.
Let's head back to the docks. I know the mom and the kid are once again ill.
See them fancy loaves? This one.
Ooh, good trigger bar. The good stuff's becoming more frequent. Yeah. Right. Just closer to the, yeah. At least this district is healthy. I'm a good doctor here.
Have you heard anything about Sean Hampton's shelter?
That bastard's become something of a holy man these days. And someone should remind him who really rules the docks.
Are you worried about the conditions in London?
I've heard rumors about some sort of militia patrolling, killing the sick. The wet boot boys are overrun.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby. Good evening.
Hello again.
Can I see you?
As long as you...
All right. Good. I don't... Rivets.
Pleasure, sir. Been a while.
Evening.
Good evening.
Tell me your feelings about Rufus.
I am sad for Mrs. Fishburne, not for her dead son. I was afraid of him and his threats. I don't think a lot of people will miss him.
Cool. All right.
So how is your new life going?
Good. I have a roof over my head and warm meals. Mrs. Fishburne is the best. But she's so sad. I hear her crying at night.
Even if she did take you in, Mrs. Fishburne lost her son, who she loved very much.
I know, but it makes me feel funny. I should feel bad for being here after Seymour died, not happy.
Try to help her as much as she helps you, Rufus. Help each other through the grief.
Mrs. Fishburne has been like a mother to me, and it's my turn to help her the best I can.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation?
I never really felt safe in this town anyway. Now's the first time that everyone seems to feel the same way as me.
Is anything worrying you right now?
Gunshots? I hear them every night. Who's firing? Who are they shooting at? That's what's scary.
Do you need help?
A real doc...
I don't
know what...
So long, Rufus.
I'm not gonna eat Rufus. Will you just leave the door open for me? You don't have to let me in every single time.
Good evening.
Doctor.
So, you live here with Rufus now. And how is everything?
Yeah. We both had our share of tragedy. But I suppose it's a relief not to be alone in life.
Did Rufus talk to you about his past?
I knew the boy had a hard time in the streets, but I had no idea how miserable he really was. And I suspect he won't tell me all that he remembers.
In the end, Seymour avoided being judged for what he did. Does that not disturb you, Stella?
For months, my greatest fear was to see my son being arrested and hanged. Now that he's dead, no one will ever know.
Do you believe your son could have avoided being caught forever?
I have no idea. Sometimes I felt like he was becoming more and more careless. Perhaps he wanted to be caught.
I'd like to know more about your son's death, Stella.
Being as I'm the one that killed him.
Arrested and executed that I never thought about him being murdered.
As sad as his fate may have been, at least you'll avoid the shame of a trial.
Justice or vengeance? Street justice is not right.
Aren't you worried about the conditions around here?
Hate everywhere. The city will not sink because of this flu. It's the violence that will finish us all.
Mrs. Fish...
I am
Then...
I think...
Goodbye, Miss...
Should I eat Dyson? Ah, we'll just leave him as he is. I want to at least keep the docks as healthy as possible. I have fed enough from here. Let's... Can I upgrade this? Can! Good, good, good. I need 6 for that. Oh, you can swap these. All right. Let's go for damage dealt, shall we? Let's maximize DPS here. And the Pridwin steak. done. Stun potential. Ah! Stop! Lesion. Listed knife. Alright, so this is... I kind of like the combat loop of stun him with the stake, bite him to deal a bunch of damage. I like that. I'll keep it that way. I have any outstanding investigations? Where are you? Where did you go off to? Mystery for another day. I'm gonna call it for tonight. I wasn't planning to stream too long anyways. Thanks for everybody who showed up. Even though if it was probably nobody. Goodbye YouTube. Like, comment, etc. Follow me on Twitch and whatever.